We've completed our predictions for every single Power 4 team. We did videos on all those teams, game-by-game predictions, all that. So now we're going to do the ACC here and take a look at what the standings will look like based off of my predictions. And then, of course, we'll predict the ACC championship as well. If you missed any of those videos, if you want to know specifically, how I see the season going for any specific team, again, you can find those videos here. We did every single Power 4 team. So let's jump right in. We'll start at the top. So we've got Clemson as the number one team in the ACC, losing just one game, but not a game in the conference. I had them losing to Georgia and then winning out. So an 8-0 conference record for Clemson as they come in at number one. And then we've got Miami at number two. Miami at 10-2, 7-1 in the conference. Had them losing to Virginia Tech in the ACC and then losing to Florida. So that will be the matchup there in the ACC Championship, and we'll predict that here in just a second. Now, let's go through the rest of the conference. We go now to a three-way tie, and I didn't really do tiebreakers here because it wasn't to get into the conference championship game, and it doesn't really matter. Just kind of put them in order of the overall record. So Florida State, NC State, and Louisville all going 6-2. Florida State 9-3, NC State 9-3, Louisville 8-4. I think Florida State has potential to maybe do better than this. I have some question marks about the passing game, and I don't know if it's going to be good enough to win some of those big games. And so that's why I've got them losing 3 games. NC State's got a favorable schedule. I think they can absolutely get to 9-3. And then Louisville, again, you got Notre Dame and Kentucky in the non-conference. That makes it pretty tough. And they really struggle with Kentucky as of late. So I had them losing those 2 games. So yeah, Louisville's not, I would say these are the 5 teams. I would say these are the 5 teams that have a shot to get to the ACC championship. I wouldn't count out a team like Virginia Tech or a team like SMU either, but I think these are the front runners. And again, I've got Clemson and Miami making it out of this conference, but definitely not feeling super confident on that prediction. Let's go now to the next group of teams. You got Virginia Tech, SMU, and North Carolina. SMU and North Carolina both have really all 3 of these teams have really favorable schedules. And so 5-3, I think, is definitely, that's where I predicted them. So I think that's where they're going to wind up. But I think it's doable to maybe do a little bit better, maybe get to 6-2 for all 3 of these teams. But yeah, we got Virginia Tech and SMU 9-3 overall, and North Carolina at 8-4. I think all 3 of these teams will have very solid seasons. And again, if we're talking about dark horse candidates to get to the ACC championship, I'd say these 3 teams are probably going to be your dark horses. Again, the schedule's set up really well. These teams are going to be good. I don't know if they're going to be great, but a good team, if the ball bounces their way, you never know. They could find their way into that top 2. Okay, let's move on now to the next team, the only team that we have going 4-4 in the conference. That's Georgia Tech, and I've got them going 6-6 overall. I expect a good season for Georgia Tech. We saw some strides last year. We've seen this team get better, and this program start to get better, and I think they'll do enough to get to a bowl game. So that's where I've got the Yellow Jackets, and then we've got Syracuse and Wake Forest going 3-5. Syracuse 7-5 overall. Wake Forest 6-6 overall. Syracuse does have a very favorable schedule, an easy non-conference schedule as well. So, some people think maybe Syracuse should be in that dark horse category. I don't think so. I just don't think they're going to be good enough this year. But 7-5 is still a pretty solid season. And there was actually another 3-5 team. We just ran out of room here. That would be Virginia. Virginia also going 3-5. Just 5-7 overall, though. I don't think they make it to a bowl game. In fact, I don't think any of the teams here on this last page we have making it to a bowl game. Let's go to our next teams. Boston College, Cal, and Stanford. So all 3 of these teams I have going 2-6 in the ACC. Boston College and Cal 5-7. Stanford at 4-8. So again, we've got 6 teams on this page. That means I've got 6 teams out of the ACC not making it to a bowl game. So 11 getting in. It seems crazy, but these conferences are so big now. They're going to have some big numbers. You're going to see, double-digit teams getting to bowl games and maybe all the Power 4 conferences. So at the bottom, we've got Duke and Pitt, both going 1-7. Duke finishes 4-8 overall. Pittsburgh finishes 3-9 overall. So that's it for the standings. Now let's go to the conference championship game. We got Clemson versus Miami. Should be a great matchup here. I think Clemson is going to be good. I think Miami is going to be good. I think I said this before. I think Miami is actually the most talented team in this conference. But do you trust Mario Cristobal in a big game like this? Dabo Swinney and Clemson, he's won lots of big games. I do think that the wide receivers, especially for Miami, I think that's going to be the difference here in this game. Because as good as Clemson's defense is going to be, I don't think their secondary is going to be elite. It'll be good, but I don't think it's going to be elite. And I think Miami can take advantage of that. Cam Ward, very good quarterback. Plus, you look at him and his ability to run as well. I think the offense for Miami is a little too much for Clemson. I think Clemson will score in this game as well. I think it'll be close, but I'm going to go with Miami to win the ACC championship. Again, I said it before. I think this is the most talented team. It's just a matter of do you trust them? Do you trust Mario Cristobal? It's tough. I really went back and forth on this, but I think this team is able to get it done. They win the ACC championship. Give me your predictions on this conference. Who do you have making it to the conference championship game? And who do you have winning the ACC? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below.